Hello, beautiful souls out there. I hope you're able to get out in nature like Starlight was. I was outside. And anyway, I love you so much. Be cautious, be careful, fear not, protect yourself, with the people that you surround yourself with. So be careful out there. So besides that I hope you're able to get out in nature like Starlight was. And today is a cloudy, very quiet day. I feel like I'm thinking of Elmer Fudd. Who's Elmer Fudd? He's on Bugs Bunny. He's the hunter, looking for Bugs Bunny out there. And he's like, be very, very quiet. That's what he said. He's always saying, be very, very quiet. So the bunny rabbit is out there. He wants to get Bugs Bunny, but Bugs Bunny is too smart for Elmer Fudd. So anyway, that's how quiet it is outside today. It's like, whew. So anyway, I love you so much, and a big, huge thank you to all of you who are new to my YouTube channel, and those of you that have been here. I mean, like, some of you have been here for a long time, and you're still here, loving and supporting Starlight. All of you mean a lot to me. And whether you like it or not, we are all family, one big happy family. That doesn't mean that we're always going to agree, and that doesn't always mean that we're going to get along, but we're working on ourselves, and hopefully you're going, in the same direction. So might not be on the same path, because we all have our own individual path that God has put us on, or the universe. But it's about putting our differences aside and understanding that we're all where we're supposed to be. So anyway, I love you all, and I thank you for all of you who have been here, loving, supporting Starlight, giving me thumbs up, sharing my videos, subscribing to my YouTube channel, or leaving me a comment, and pushing the notification bell. Don't forget that notification bell. So Starlight loves you so much. And also, if anyone would love to send any love donations out to Starlight, Starlight would love to receive those, love donations, and you can do that through my YouTube video here on my Cash App, and I will have that information here. Ping! There it is. And now today, wow, I hope you got your seatbelt on. You're like, Starlight, what did you do? Starlight, what did you do today? Well, Starlight is story time, So it's Starlight's gonna use herself, because this is a true story that right off the press, this is right off the press. And you guys are the first ones to get this, information here. So it is really, 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 really super important to protect yourself out there, not to be afraid, but, know who you're spending time with. And so today's video is about people who claim it, they claim that they know Christ, they know, that they know Jesus, they claim that they got a relationship with God. They even could, because I'll tell you what, I've gone through years of going through these kind of things in the past, and even though I don't go to church anymore, because I do have a free will, and it doesn't mean that I don't have a relationship with God, the Creator, so you really got to be careful of all those programs that you've been programmed to believe, to think that it's real, because like I made a video not too long ago, in the name of Jesus, you know how many people are out there doing a lot of wicked stuff in the name of Jesus? So be careful of that. And like I had to learn a long time ago about false Christians. They could dress like a Christian or a believer, so they're going to look, the outside appearance is going to look like, hey, depending on what kind of church did they go to. Every church got different beliefs, different Bibles. Wonder why, right? So I wonder why. What Bible you to go by? So Starlight does have a Bible, but it's one of those Dollar Tree Bibles, so it's kind of falling apart as I use it. But That's a King James version. That's, from what I was taught, that was the closest thing to the scrolls that we have here. At least that's what I was taught. See, we've been programmed to believe these things. But that's not really what I'm talking about today, is about the Bible. I'm just explaining, yes, I do believe in God, and I believe that, Jesus, went through hell to help us out, died on the cross for our sins. So anyway, today I say these things because we all been programmed differently. Some of you might have been programmed, hey, if Starlight doesn't say anything about Jesus, well, don't listen to anything that she's got to say. And that's why you got to be careful with that. Like I said, there's a lot of people doing a lot of crazy stuff out there in the name of Jesus. So, and don't mind if Starlight, I feel kind of funny, my nose is stuffed, I got allergies, and I don't know what else is going on with my body. So I've been feeling it for going on for 2 weeks every day, just plowing through. We're here still. Yeah. So I'm all congested right now, so I don't know what my voice really sounds like. No air in there. So anyway, today is about being careful who you trust out there, who say they are Christians, and it's so important, or a believer, So there are people out there, they will, sorry, Starlight's got to get her back all situated. There are Christians or believers that they go to church. They could be always into church, or maybe half the time, show up, they could actually be doing things in the church. They could be active doing things in the church, and so what you got to watch out for is a lot of people are looking on the outward appearance, how somebody's dressed, and what they're doing. Oh yeah, they go to church. I guess they're a Christian, but just because somebody goes into a building doesn't make them a Christian. So it doesn't make somebody not a Christian because they're not in church either. Hello? Yes. Can I get an amen on that? We're not here to preach. But that's about how that goes when you are in church. So anyway, I do love you all. And today is a storytelling time, like most days, is true story. A week ago, on a Thursday, almost a week ago, more than a week ago, is Starlight went to a place out here nearby where I am right now to go take a shower. And so the first time I went there, the people were so sweet. They were volunteering from their church, and they volunteered their time to help the homeless people out with meals, with giving them clothes, giving them toothpaste, shampoo, helping them so they can get showers. So Starlight went there last week, but I went there at the end time. They gave me the wrong time, but I was able to get there, sign my name, get in the shower, and everything was great. It was a beautiful energy. Then the next week, last week, I ended up going there, but I was really late. I didn't know the time. I got there too late. I signed my name, but then the list was so long. So last week, there was a very rude man having a lot of jokes, and I was like, what, he just was on me, really bad, and so I was like, what is this person doing? Why are they, and it's like he was entertaining the other men that were, with this church. And it all started because I was there the whole time. My name was on the list. I was waiting for my number because I had a number, and all I did was go to my car, grab something to give somebody a ring that I found because I didn't need a man's ring. And I came back and I'm like, everything got picked up, and I seen that they were picking things up and they were ready to get going. And so, but one of the guys that volunteers, from a different church, this is a different church, and he was right on me, making jokes about me, being sarcastic with me, and I didn't expect this, but this happens, and I've seen this all over around the United States in different places where, there's people that volunteer to help out the homeless, but they are rude, It's like they didn't do a background check on these people or something, They just, hey, you want to help out? Here you go. There you go. You just stood here. We don't know you, but we're just going to, yeah, you can help out because you want to help out. So you got to really be careful because there's people out there at food banks Anywhere you go, no matter out in the world, it doesn't even have to be helping the homeless people. But haven't you ever seen that at like there's used to be a restaurant out in New York called Friendly's, imagine that you go there and somebody's not being friendly. Hey, I want my money back, because they're supposed to be friendly here. So we do bump into that, out in public where, somebody could be rude to you or sarcastic, and like I said, this guy was, I didn't know, I was letting him know, hey, they were picking everything up so quick. The energy wasn't the same. It was a low vibration, really bad energy, like nobody wanted to be there, but they showed up. See, there's a difference, is when you want to volunteer, that means, you got I'll tell you what, I had to learn the hard way when I went to church, when I was going to church, is that when you open your foot, your mouth, your foot, you stick your foot in your mouth, hey, I'm gonna volunteer. It's so easy when the pastor puts guilt trips on you, or gets you to feel guilty that you're not doing anything, and before you know it, you're like, hey, I'll volunteer for that, and that's what Starlight did long a time ago. And now it's great. Hey, look at me, I'm volunteering, everybody. Starlight's volunteering. Whoa, hey, great, Sister Starlight, you're great. You're volunteering. Well, now you got to count the cost. You got to show up all the time, and now it's not so much fun, right? So that happens to people. They volunteer, and there's many reasons, but anyway, they were ending this stuff, and the list wasn't even there on the table. I was like, I'm supposed to take a shower. And the guy's like, well, you can't take a shower now. We got this all closed up. And I'm like, what? I had my name on the paper. I only was gone quick enough to go to my car and come back. And so I'm like, what? And here I forgot all about the number tag that was in my hand. And, a guy's like, hey, is that a number that you have in your hand? I'm like, yeah, because it was my first time. So every place has different rules, where you go, no matter where you go, any business or anything like that. And the guy goes, well, she's got the lucky key, she can go in and she's got a... But, this guy was like right on me, being really sarcastic, saying jokes that didn't even make any sense, saying something like, oh, would you rather have 5 guys than 3? And I'm thinking, what kind of a freaking joke is this? I'm a virgin. Sorry, dude. I don't know what you're talking about. And so I didn't know what this guy was making jokes about, and what does that supposed to mean? I'm here. He doesn't know nothing about me. He doesn't know that I live in he doesn't know shit about me. But he's acting like, hey, would you rather have 5 guys or 3 guys? And I'm thinking, very insulting. You don't even know me, and you're acting like I'm some prostitute out here that needs a shower. That's how I took it. So a man explains, it goes, oh, what he means, he had an interpreter there with him. It had he must have had some kind of cancer, because he's got the hole in his throat, so he had to talk to me and explain. What he's saying is, would you rather go take a shower after 5 guys been in there, or would you rather take a shower when 3 people? It didn't make any sense. And when you don't know anybody, especially when you're working with people that are living on the street, you got to feel them out first, get to know them before you start making jokes, because you could say, you might be thinking you're saying a funny joke. They could totally freak out in there, because you're insulting them. And so I was just like, what are you saying? Would I rather have 5 guys than 3? I haven't even been with a man since 2018. So anyway, the energy was really bad. They wanted to hurry up and get everybody out of there. And so I just couldn't stand it. The energy was so bad. I'm like, you know what? I ain't got time for this stuff. I'm not going to be, taking a shower. They're going to pressure me into hurrying out because they don't want to be here. They already got their stuff already packed up and ready to go. And this man's attitude, so I left. Never mentioned anything to anybody about any of this. Now today, the story that I heard is that every other week, this group here, comes and helps out at the shower place. So I'm thinking, this morning I was positive, and I'm thinking, oh, good, this is going to be the other group. They were so sweet, lots of smiles, no sarcastic remarks or anything like that. So Starlight was all positive, driving there and, saying all kinds of beautiful, kind of things that I want to do later on in my life. But anyway, I show up and I get my name. I'm like one of the second person that actually gets there. Somebody already took a shower. Their name was already on the list. They already were out of the shower. So there was nobody really there. It was really dead because a lot of people want to show up around lunchtime because that's when the food is there. I'm there like at 8:30 or so in the morning, ready to take that shower because I don't want to wait. I wanted to get, be one of the first, and I was. So anyway, I signed my name on a paper thinking that there was going to be a lot of people to get in line because I'm new at all this, and nobody was really there. So I said, oh, I'll sign my name and I'll go and I'll grab my stuff and I'll come back. So anyway, nobody ever told me from the last time to this time that now this is crazy because I've gone all over the United States in different places where they give you a time limit how long that you need to get in and out. And unless there's nobody next in line, they don't really care how long, you're going to take in a shower, which makes sense. So nobody ever told me from the last time to this time that you got 12 minutes for a shower. That's crazy. That is like, I want to see these people do it themselves, really. I want to see you go in the shower. Now, the whole point why I'm making this up is I am supposed to be grateful for everything. So anyway, I didn't see the guy that was being sarcastic with me. He was somewhere else, and the other people that were there last time, I seen some of them there, and some of the women. And I was so sweet when I came in. I said, hey, thank you, all of you, for coming here and volunteering. I really appreciate all of you, even though this is the group that man belongs to, as this church group, because I wanted to, be the example, be that change that I want to see in the world. So I always do this. Everywhere I go, I'm always saying, hey, thank you for volunteering your time. I really appreciate all of you. So anyway, I didn't see that guy. I didn't think about him. I'm like, oh, great, no, it's this church group here. This is where he came from. But I get in there and take my shower. And the thing about these showers, this is what I'm gonna go back. I'm going back to do this. But for 12 minutes for a shower is I am grateful for the shower. I'm grateful for warm water or even hot that comes out of this. Is a trailer that you can pull along and bring it somewhere and then set it all up. There's 2 showers. The problem with is, I want you to imagine this, is the shower. This is how these things work. So you turn it on like this, it doesn't stay on. So you turn it like this, and you can, so you're in there holding that while the water's running down on you. You really can't do a whole lot. What are you going to do? You need both hands, right? To clean up. All my stuff is all on the floor in the shower. So I'm holding it like this, so I'm getting it's really, and it's a tight space. Everything in there is tight. Even when you get out, there's not a lot of space. They have a bathroom, a little sink, a little walkway, a little chair that's there, so there's not a lot of space. You don't have a lot of room to move around. And so you got to move the lever, get under it, get wet, and then let go. Get the shampoo, get your shampoo in there, get it all, and, get it all. And now you're cold because there's no water running on you. So then you got to turn it back on, rinse yourself off. Well, my legs needed to get shaved, So Starlight's like, how am I going to do this? My first time, I had a lot of time because nobody was really there. Nobody needed it, Everybody already took their showers the first time. So Starlight's going to shave her hair, her hair and her legs. And so there I am. So now I need 2 hands to do that. So I am not using the water. And they're okay. So now I'm trying to shave my hair, but you need to rinse the razor off. How you gonna rinse? So it is really difficult. But I'm grateful that there's a shower. This is the whole thing. I could be without one. At least this, you can feel warm water. So anyway, I get all cleaned up, hurrying up. I didn't know anybody was outside. I can't see. I'm inside inside. And would you know, it's kind of funny. I didn't know. Nobody ever told me. This is the fun part. Nobody told me that there's a timer outside for 12 minutes for me to take that shower. A female that needs to shave her legs. And I got long hair, So it does take longer for a female to clean up, especially, there's men that have long hair. So yeah, it's going to take, but shaving. So anyway, I'm in there cleaning. I got out, and then I heard a tap, tap, tap on the door, and I'm like, I'm soaking wet. I didn't even get my hair dried. All my stuff is all around. You can't get clothes on a wet body. Try it. Try to just not dry your clothes and try to get your clothes on. It isn't going to happen. So Starlight couldn't do nothing. And so I'm hurrying up, I don't know what's going on outside. I can't see outside. I didn't know that there's a whole bunch, there's people that sign their names and they're sitting outside waiting for Starlight. But nobody ever told me that you got 12 minutes for the shower. And so, then I hear another tap, tap, tap. And I'm like, you know what? And I was praying. I was asking God, what do you want me to do? I want to do this in the right way. I'm grateful for the shower, but they have a lesson to learn. This is not working out right, because nobody said anything that you have 12 minutes. 12 minutes is a joke for a shower, especially with a handle like that. Is to always, I thought there was something wrong with the shower before when I used that. I'm like, you gotta be kidding. You gotta hold this the whole time, when you're, even have that shower on. And so Starlight just like, you know what? They're out there talking. I can't really hear a whole lot what they're saying. So after that guy, and I didn't know, it was the guy that was being sarcastic with me before. And I don't know if he knew I was in there or not. But anyway, I'm like, you know what? They need to learn a lesson here. So they tapped on the door again, and Starlight's like, okay. Yeah, it was 3 taps, And I'm like, okay, I'm just going to go right out, just like I am. Just like you are, Starlight? Yes. Did I have my clothes all on? No, I didn't. There's not a lot of space. And so Starlight's like, this is ridiculous. You want me to, you're out there pounding on the door every so many minutes now. It was 2 times, I just got out of the shower when the first tap, and I'm trying to dry my hair, got a lot of hair, my clothes are all over, I'm picking up my stuff, getting it all gathered. And the 3rd time, I was just like, all right, I'm just going to leave my stuff and I'm just going to open up the door. And there is Starlight. Starlight is there in her pants, in her bra, and her hair's a mess. And there's women all the way at the, directly across from there. The door, it's kind of funny. I didn't know this because, I didn't know what was on the outside. I'm like, when they opened up the door, see, that was blocking where the people were sitting, waiting. So there was men and women that were lying, in chairs sitting, but they couldn't see shit. They didn't see nothing. But they could hear how everybody responded because Starlight just, da-da, you told me to hurry up. You wanted me to get out of here? Well, I'm out here, So Starlight did. It just, they have things that they need to learn. And, so I didn't like that pressure that they were putting me under, and they didn't, so I didn't know how long these people have been doing this, So I was praying and asking God, to help me with this whole thing, how to handle this whole situation. So when I did get out, I grabbed all my stuff, I threw it in the bag, I did get my shirt on, got my shoes on, I didn't even comb my hair. Who had time to comb my hair? There's no time to brush my hair. I came out with my hair all freaking messy but clean. All my stuff I threw. I didn't even have time to put my washcloths in my bag, my little sandwich bags. I didn't have time to organize nothing. It just was thrown in a bag, and I went out, grabbed up, made sure all my stuff was picked up, and walked out. And they're all looking at me, even the guys and the women that are waiting to use the shower. And I went right up to the one that has been sarcastic, and he's the one that was knocking on the door. And in love, I went right up to him and I said, you know what? I appreciate to be able to take a shower. I'm grateful to be able to use a shower. And I explained, I've been all around the United States. I said, nobody told me that I have 12 minutes. He said that he goes, oh, you have 12 minutes. I said, well, nobody told me I have 12 minutes to take a shower. And I said, I'm grateful for the shower. I've traveled around all the United States. I'm on a mission with God. I've learned a lot. God sent me all around the United States. I've learned a lot about all this stuff. And I was letting him know that you really need to I'm new here. This is my second time coming here. This man here, only God knows whether he's God or not. So, anyway, he said, he was quiet. This is not me, it's God doing this. God is using me to get his, get a message, because he's been, kind of on a sarcastic way about with me for unknown reason, and so with this man is a few minutes later, I come together with him, and I said, hey, I appreciate, you guys out here. And he was face to face with Starlight, and he's like, and I had hair because I was trying to comb my hair, and my hair was in my mouth, and him and I were face to face. Nobody could hear what he was saying, but he looked right at me and he goes, get out of my face. Nobody around could hear what he's saying, but I could. And I had a piece of hair that kind of was in my mouth, and he said, oh, he tried to cover it up and say, oh, you had a piece of hair in your mouth. But that's not why he was saying, get out of my face. He was, this is an attack on me for nothing. So you got to really be careful out there. There's people that they go out and they can do things like this. Sorry, Starlight needs some water. And I didn't disappear right away, because I did have one guy that was waiting for the shower. He went in after me, and I put a smile on his face, because everybody heard what I said. The people that were waiting for a shower heard what I said in love. I said, I'm not here to start any problems out here. I am doing this all out of love. I appreciate everything you're doing, but nobody told me anything about 12 minutes for a shower. I didn't know that. So we have to watch out. Just because somebody's out there doing great deeds out in the world, it doesn't mean shit. So be careful the kind of people that you have at the church. It's not about what people are doing or what they're saying. It's about the heart. And that is what you have to be mindful, is the heart. That guy was kind of in a way, intimidating me by acting like this. But you know what? I did a meditation before I went there. It was a throat chakra. I need to use my voice. I love the homeless people. I want to protect these people from people like that are rude, and starting up stuff in these places. And people will volunteer because they're wearing a mask. They will volunteer and hey, I'll help out at the, because they're not being real. They're not being true to themselves or other people. So you got to protect yourself, even at your church or anywhere out, out and about. Is just because people are out there doing great deeds, it don't mean anything. And that guy is so sly what he's doing, because, get out of my face kind of thing. There was no reason for that. I handled everything, in a proper way. And that, it just was, the energy was that intense, and it's a lesson. I said, because God sent me all around the United States. I've been in and out of different shower places, food banks, all different kind of thrift stores, all kinds of things out all around the United States. And that's why God wanted to show me these things, because all around that I've gone, there's people out there that they say, hey, I want to help the homeless people, but they're being more of a damage to the people, the things that they're doing. There's people out there that have been handing out half-rotten food to the people that are out there that are homeless, and then they want, hey, beggars can't be choosers. So there's people out there, they might claim that they're helping the homeless people, but it's not really God pleasing. God's not pleased with those kind of things out there. Is that the kind of food that you would serve to Jesus or anybody else? So you got to really be careful. People could be out there and those kind of things out there in the world, but protect yourself and don't be afraid to use your voice. Don't be afraid to be a voice for yourself or even others. So I love you so much, and we don't have to put up with that kind of attitude. And did I do anything wrong? Absolutely not. What's the difference if I was at a beach? I had my bra on. They didn't see nothing. I wasn't naked. And I'll tell you what we do if I was? You want me to get out right now? So don't let people push you around. And I got to clear that energy in me, because that stuff that lingers around in your aura and your whole being. So you got to be careful. You got to protect yourself. Don't let people treat you like shit, and be a voice to other people, because next time I go back to that place, I'm going to say, you ought to try to go, the best way to find out how many minutes is to take a shower is you go in there yourself and you take a shower, bring all your stuff in there and take a shower and have somebody time it. And that's how you're going to find out how long it should take. 12 minutes is a joke. That's a joke. You got to take your clothes off to get in there. You got to get your stuff set up to get in there. You got to dry, all this stuff takes time. 12 minutes is a joke. I'm not in the Army. I'm not in the Marines. I'm not in the Navy and all that stuff where they were, trained to be quick like that. Where these are people that are homeless, that are living on the street. They have no clue what it's like to actually have an opportunity to take a shower, what it's like to actually have that time to be able to enjoy the shower. And with those showers, the way they're working, they really do need more time to be able to take those showers. So that's the best way that they're going to really find out, is by going in there and seeing what it's like. So anyway, I love you so much. This is Starlight, and I hope you get a lot of help from this video. Thank you. Love you. Thank you for watching my video. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, plus give me a thumbs up, and you can leave me a message down below, beep, beep, beep. Plus, you could share my videos with your family or friends, and don't forget the notification bell, and check out my playlist. And you can also find me on Instagram at 1995 Starlight, or on Facebook, and that is Kathy with a K, Dingman Starlight. Thank you for watching. This is Starlight. Namaste. This is Starlight. Love, light, and peace.